This is why Dak Prescott had a little better. I'm not going to go he had a way better year because he didn't have a way better. He just had a
He
little
didn't have
better
a better.
year. Let me explain this to you.
Okay,
Let's
explain it to
start with what you always start with me on. You always discount Dak Prescott. You say he's a product of Ezekiel Elliott, right?
Mm-hmm.
And yet, Russell Wilson benefited from the #1 rushing attack in all of pro football. Am I right about that? Seattle led the whole National Football League in rushing. And as a team, back to your point about Zeke, the Dallas Cowboys finished 10th in rushing as a team. So #1 to #10.
Mm-hmm.
So wouldn't that be a big advantage for Russell Wilson over Dak?
No.
You start with that premise right there.
Well,
so you're going to benefit greatly because everything you do when you throw the football has opened wide open because you can run it the way nobody can run it in the whole NFL. Am I right?
Because
I'm just using what you taught me.
Because
right?
Russell Wilson can run it 25 times better than what Dak Prescott can.
Oh, really?
Yeah!
Oh, that's an interesting stat, Jenny. So help me out with this. I'll just throw this out. I was going to save it for my denouement conclusion, but I'll just throw this out.
Throw it out.
Dak Prescott rushed for 6 touchdowns. That means he scored 6 with his legs. Guess how many Russell scored with his legs? How about a big goose egg? 0 for Russell Wilson. So Dak had 6 touchdowns running the football. So let's add those on to his total of touchdown passes, right?
Do that.
Okay, so now, obviously, for the first 8 games this year, Dak was really up against it. And you agreed with this because not only did he not have a #1 receiver to target, I'm not even sure he had a #2. And the great Shannon Sharp would always reinforce that same point. You always said, I don't know if they even have a #2 out there.
Give you that.
And furthermore, they clearly don't have any obvious tight end target.
Yes,
so there's no.
They got Shannon Jarwin.
Okay, well, that's.
They got Shannon Jarwin.
That just happened in the very last regular season game, right? Didn't they just play the last regular season game? I'm talking about the first 8 games. He had nobody to throw to, right?
Yeah.
And the whole year, guess what? Russell Wilson had 2 #1s to throw to.
Really?
He had Tyler Lockett and Doug Baldwin. You don't think those are #1s? I'll take them any day of the week.
Of course you would.
Because those are tough, get open. Tyler Lockett can get open on anybody. He had 10 touchdowns himself.
Nobody look. Everybody has to be somebody has to be the #1 receiver. But I don't think anybody looks at Doug Baldwin, looks at Tyler Lockett and says they're #1s in the sense
Well,
of
I don't
Julio,
know.
AB,
No, but
Juju.
they're up there. They're really
they're
good.
But you should. So Dak should be disqualified because you said the first 8 games he wasn't very good because he had no one throw to.
He had nobody.
Okay, so that should disqualify him.
Disqualify? No, because now we get to the last 8 games, and now we really qualify him. We, in fact, overqualify him over Russell Wilson.
How?
Because once Amari joins and you have one target, you just have one #1 receiver, all of a sudden, over the last 8 games, Dak Prescott throws for the 4th most yards in the whole National Football League. This is over the last 8 games of the year. And obviously, they go 7-1 over that stretch. And he had the 3rd highest completions of that stretch over those last 8 games. He had the 3rd highest completion percentage. Well, those 3 numbers alone should qualify him as a top 5 performer over the last 8 games of the year.
But unfortunately, the season is 16 games, not just 8.
I'm going to weight these far more heavily. I'm going to value those last 8 games because he finally actually had a target to throw to, and he took them on a run from 3-5 all the way to 10-6.
Do you remember what Seattle started?
Sensational.
Do you remember what Seattle started?
Was before then, they were 0-3.
Okay,
but that 3-5, that's deep in the season. You're dead in the water. That's after that Tennessee debacle.
How many times? There's only a handful of teams that come back. The Houston Texans did it this year. They were 0-3, come back, won the division. It doesn't happen very often, Skip Bayless.
So what am I supposed to do with these numbers? Dak Prescott averaged 243 yards passing a game.
Yes.
Russell Wilson averaged only 216 yards passing a game?
Yes.
That's not that good.
Right.
What do you always throw at me about Dak Prescott? That 200-yard line.
Yeah.
He can't even throw for 200 yards, right?
He couldn't.
So help me out with this. 7 times this year, Russell Wilson threw for under 200 yards. Only 5 times Dak threw for under 200 yards. So wouldn't that advantage Dak?